What do you got in your hand there?
These are my flyers I'm handing out for the Footsies tournament.
What do you
Intercontinental
got?
Footsies Championship of 12,017 in Parfait Park. Golden RSVP. TheDorkShop. But I went to preach here and I saw no one. I did the whole walkabout. I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
So I'm going to set up there in the eye.
Beautiful.
And I'll have these as my handouts. So I'm going to get all my shit. Yeah, so do step right up if you have any questions about the cult of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. I'm a real Pastafarian preacher. We will have another hymn and then we will open our services today with a prayer to the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Do not be shy, do have a seat. Call your friends on the phone. Pastafarian cult meeting, TGIF. Ladies and gentlemen, hashtag TGIF. Also, I do want to announce next week at Parfait Park, right down the road here, we're having Footsies Intercontinental Footsies Championship, sponsored by the First Pastafarian Cult of Denver. Please do pick up a flyer here at the front for that. Benefits! Reasons to join my fucking cult. One, I'm not trying to kill you. There's no violence. Violence is bullshit. Ladies and gentlemen. Apparently we've got to stay on problem number one. We're still working on this. Let's all be unviolent. Here is some math that I've been working on, some algebra, as it were, some religious algebra. I've been trying to wake my loved ones from the cult they were raised in for quite some time. Doesn't seem to work at any time. It seems like every time you try to wake someone from the cult, your loved ones sort of double down, eh? Got this whole relationship, this long relationship. It's very loud here with the river, eh? And so if you do have loved ones in a cult like I do, I've got friends, my loved ones are in the Mormon cult at the moment, and I've been trying to help them wake from that Mormon mythology to reality. I've been trying to help them. And how do you help someone out of a cult? That's what I've been wondering. And I can't really find a way to help your loved ones out. There's this thing called the backfire effect, and it's in quite effect in these situations with the cults, with the religiosity and things. And it seems the closer you are emotionally to the person that you're trying to talk to, the more difficult it is to communicate, because your relationship is so large and based on such a long history. And I find that it's much easier to talk about religious ideas and cults with a total stranger, eh? The backfire effect does not happen quite as often. You can be totally honest and blunt and frank with a stranger whom you don't care about and don't give a shit about their feelings. And so we're not supposed to wake those people that we love, are we? We're not supposed to wake the people that are closest to us. It's too difficult. What we are supposed to do, though, is wake total strangers like you. So if you're in a cult, or you know somebody in a cult, send them my way, or fucking help them out with that cult, and they can join reality with the rest of us, because you can't do it yourself, especially for your loved ones, because I tried. You know, I don't want to get personal. I tried with my mum, eh? She's in the cult, she's deep in the cult. Tried to help her out, tried to reason with her, but reason doesn't work anymore, when they're in cults. It's just the way it is. If you've ever had a Scientologist in your family, if you ever had a Islamist in your family, if you've ever had a Mormon or a Christian in your family, you know that that cult is in there very deep. And they tell you not to trust your family. And they say, in fact, this cult is going to break up your family. So when it happens, you know why. It's because of the devil. But it wasn't, it was because of the Mormon cult. It was because of the Scientological cult. So if you do have any friends in a cult, if you have any relatives in a cult like I do, my poor mummy, I can't save them myself, so send them my way. I'll be able to break them out of that cult. I'll save your loved ones, and then maybe you can talk to mine and get mine out of the cult, the Mormon cult that they belong into. Do not be shy, I'm a real Pastafarian preacher from the cult of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, the first Pastafarian cult of Denver. I am preaching today because next week we are sponsoring a sporting event here at the Parfait Park just down the road. We're having the Intercontinental Footsies Championships. I do invite you all to attend next Friday, 6 p.m. That is 172 hours from now. No, I don't know how many hours in a week. A lot of people accuse me of mocking their religion, which is very strange, very odd to me. They accuse me of being a mocker. In fact, I am accused quite often of being a troll. If you have heard of this accusation, it's a new accusation, internet age accusation of being a troll. And basically there's two kinds of words that this comes from. One is the troll under the bridge, we'll talk about him later. The second thing this comes from is the idea of trolling as a fisherman. I don't know if you guys fish much, but there's trolling and there's trolling. But trolling is where you put your line in the water, and then you go and you're driving along and you're trying to get as many fish as you can. And yes, I admit to trolling, because here I am in the public watching the people go by, speaking at a very loud voice that's probably a bit too loud. In fact, it is a bit too loud. I'm going to do vocal warm-ups so I don't harm myself, because that is definitely not what Flying Spaghetti Monster wants me to hurt myself in his name. So like I was saying, I've been accused of mocking my other religious counterparts quite a bit. The Christians accuse it of me quite often, the Mormons accuse it of me quite often, the Islamists do, especially when I wear this thing in my head right now. They accuse me quite often of being a mocker and a troll. They say that I don't believe in a real God, I believe in a mockery of their God. Which is very interesting, because Flying Spaghetti Monster is not a mockery, he's the real creator of this world. And in fact, Flying Spaghetti Monster is the one true God of this world, the one true creator of this reality. And all the other gods are a mockery of the one true God. Hello there, my name is Schizophrenic Mitch, I'm a preacher from the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. You ever heard of it? There you go, do look us up online. We're holding a footsies tournament next week in Parfait Park. Do check us out on YouTube. The one true cult on this earth, the cult of Flying Spaghetti Monster. I was talking about how I'm often accused of mocking other religions, as that is the furthest that can be from the truth. We do not mock other religions, we instead listen to Flying Spaghetti Monster, the true creator of this reality, and what he has for us, and we are all prophets of Flying Spaghetti Monster. So instead of their mockery of religion, where they have one prophet and they've written it all down in a book, and you've got to line yourself up with that book, and its morality never changes, even though we've upgraded our morality numerous times since then. That our religion, in fact, is the one true religion, and their false gods, in fact, are mockeries of the one true God of this earth. The Flying Spaghetti Monster, the first Pastafarian cult of Denver. And in fact, when they call me a mocker, generally what I'm doing is actually effectively criticizing their religion. When I'm criticizing their religion, and I'm saying that your perfect man was not so perfect, in fact, that he was a liar and things like that, that's when they choose to call me a mocker, when I've got them against the rails with logic. When there's, hello there, do you have any questions?
Oh, no.
Well, do join us next week for the Intercontinental Footsies Championships in the Parfait Park, just across the street there, Friday 6 p.m. Do check us out online as well on the YouTube. Do you know many Pastafarians? Any of your friends Pastafarians?
No.
Cool. Do look us up online. Otherwise, I'm going to be reading off my notes here, trying to find something interesting to talk about. Let's criticize Christianity really quick. It's a pastime of mine that I quite enjoy, and I don't really have anything else to do right now. So let's talk a little bit about the Bible, because the Bible separates humanity into two groups of people. One of the groups of people, you and me, the shit baskets that are going to hell, and the other group are the people who are going to heaven. And I like to ask the Christians to please just sort of ballpark it for me as to what percent of humans are hell-bound humans relative to heaven-bound humans. And generally they tell me that about 1 in 1,000 humans are going to heaven. And so we can see that their God created humans to burn, didn't they? That the purpose of humans, if you think about the majority of them, is to burn forever in fire. And that's why God created them. He created trillions of people, and he created hell with enough space to hold them all. And that is why he created us, isn't it? Sent us to hell in their religion. Because only a very small fraction of the created humans are headed for that eternal respite that they do call heaven. And that, of course, is nonsense. Why would a loving God create humans to burn? But my God created no humans to burn. For He loves each one of us. He created us on purpose. None of us are hell-bound. He has a way to save you. There is not one way. There is one way for each of us. There's quite a lot of ways, friends. We can get there together. Jesus is not alive. I've been told quite often that Jesus is alive, that He is alive. He is what we call alive. And unfortunately, He did not fulfill the things that we require as someone who is alive. Life does certain things, and Jesus Christ does not do the things that life does. He does the things that dead people do. For example, let's all think collectively of a person who is most definitely dead, someone like John Lennon. You remember John Lennon? Do you remember him? He was a musician, a poet, prophet from a previous age. He died in the year 11980, right? 11980. He was shot in New York City by insanity, is what they tell me. But John Lennon is most definitely a dead person. Well, we have recordings of John Lennon, and if you go listen to him, you can learn what John Lennon thought about a lot of things. What he thought about feminism, what he thought about drugs, what he thought about love, what he thought about nationalism, what he thought about patriotism, what he thought about friendship. All of these things, you can learn what John Lennon wanted to tell you, communicate things to you. He's very good at communicating. And those ideas can influence you, and they can change your mind about a number of things in this way. And in that way you can become more and more like John Lennon. But that does not make John Lennon alive, does it? It makes you alive. You're the person who's alive, and John Lennon is alive in you.